The only
Fight Fiend Forecast. I'm Joseph, the host, and I'm going to predict each and every fight on Dana White's Contenders series. Starting with week 1, we got 5 fights on the card. It's on Tuesday night each and every week. It's looking like a pretty good week to start off Dana White's Contenders series. Last year, 2023, Dana White gave out over 40 contracts. It was like 46, something like that. There was one draw, and there was a bunch of very good fights. So tune in each and every Tuesday. It's at 7 o'clock Eastern time, and it's going to be fun. We're going to start it off with the first fight of the night. This is the fight that I have low confidence in out of the 5 on this card, and I'm not going to be making content up for this. I might put up a Tapology screenshot, something like that, so you can see what I'm seeing. We're going to start it off with a flyweight fight. Both these guys are super fast. Anton Ho and Loner Kavanagh, both 6-0. Both guys have potential to make it to the UFC. I think they're both UFC caliber. They're both undefeated, like I said. Now, one of them has fought a little bit higher level guys. Like, he's been fighting a step up in competition compared to the other guy. Anton Ho, the highlight, he's fast, he's quick, he can get a highlight. When he does get the knockout, it's a highlight, that's for sure. He puts people to sleep. One hit is all it takes for him. He's from Vietnam. That's where he was born. When you see Loner Kavanagh, it says China nationality, but I'm pretty sure he was born in England. He's fighting out of Cage Warriors, and this guy, he's quick as well. It's a flyweight fight. That's what you should expect. It's on the Contenders series. Expect a finish in every fight. But flyweights, they don't have the most power, and you don't see the most finishes. Now, in this fight, it's going to be competitive. It could go either way. They're both looking for the finish, but I could see it being a decision. First fight to start off the Contender series. We might not even see a contract. Both these guys, 25, 23, both have some time. They could come back next year or get a fight and have it be on short notice. Maybe road to the UFC for Anton Ho. He's been fighting a lot of guys on the... No, he's not on the Asian regional scene. He's out of LFA, fighting guys that are 4-1, 9-9, 2-1, and 3-2. I don't think it's the highest caliber competition compared to Loner Kavanagh, who just beat a guy by a decision that was 6-0. He showed his crisp and clean boxing. He has power on the feet to deal with the speed of Anton Ho. Now, his fight before that, he had a spinning heel kick, but that was in the 3rd round, and that guy was 4-0. He's fighting guys that are undefeated, 0 losses. So the first guy was 6-0, then he beat a guy that was 4-0, 1-0, 1-0 as well after that, and he knocked him out. Ryan Morgan, Cage Warriors. He's beaten guys with no losses. You look at Anton Ho, he beat a guy with 9 losses. He beat a guy that was 0-1, and then he beat a guy that was 3-2, 2-1, 4-1. He's never fought a guy undefeated, and Loner Kavanagh has. Who's going to remain undefeated? Tapology thinks Loner Kavanagh. It could be sweaty, but I think he will get his hand raised. He's going to be my pick. It's probably going to be a decision. He does have power, though. You could play it knockout or a decision just to be safe. I don't really see a submission in this fight. If it happens, I'll be shocked. I'll be surprised. I'd play it knockout or a decision for Loner Kavanagh. He's probably the right side. He is the favorite. Good price tag for Anton Ho, but he's just looking for a highlight. He's pretty unorthodox. He's not very technical in there compared to Loner Kavanagh. He doesn't have crisp and clean boxing. He does have speed that can catch people, that can shut people's lights out. So as long as Loner Kavanagh is aware of that, keeps his head up, head on a swivel, he gets this one done, I would say. Might be a bit sweaty, though. It's a low confidence pick, about 59-60% for Loner Kavanagh. He's the older fighter. He is the shorter fighter. And anything can happen in this fight. Dana White is sitting there. He's going to give out a contract at the end of the night. These guys need a finish, and they're probably going to fight for one. So we're going to see what happens here. First fight of the night. I'm not looking to bet it or parlay it. I'm going to sit back, relax, enjoy Tuesday night. I do have a fiending bet. I'm going to put a fiend emoji, a devil emoji beside one fighter, maybe two, on my pick sheet each and every week for Dana White's Contender Series. And those fighters are the ones I'll be betting. I'm not betting on each and every fight. Anything can happen on the Contender Series, but these are my picks and predictions, and I hope you enjoy. The next fight on the card now in Dana White's backyard is going to be a fight in the featherweight division. Is going to be probably the fiend of the week here as an underdog, plus 215. I think it's incorrect. He's fighting a guy stepping in short notice. So I forgot to talk about some of the fights, how to get rescheduled. This was one. Ernie Horaz was supposed to fight on this card. He was scheduled to fight. He's a Stockton fighter. He has 2 knockouts, 2 submissions, and 4 decisions. He can go the distance, and he can scrap. He's fighting a guy that has a 100% finish rate. His only loss is by a decision. How is he the favorite? How is it this wide? I'm not quite sure. Maybe Vegas is sharp to this one. Maybe they know he is the better fighter. He's training at MMA Lab. There's another fighter training at MMA Lab on this card, and they're not too bad. They might get it done. But he's 7-1. He lost 1 fight by a decision. And this guy is 5-1, who just came off a win over Jay Perrin by a decision, and also beat Jose Delgado by a decision. Delgado's the favorite. I don't know how. God damn it, he could get it done, but I don't think as a 3-1 favorite it's going to be a safe pick. I'm going against this guy here. He lost to a guy that lost to a guy that lost on the Contender Series. I did a little digging into this fight. It doesn't look very good. Delgado, he's stepping in short notice. I understand that. He's training at a good gym, but I don't think he's a good favorite in this fight. I like the underdog, who is undefeated, nonetheless here. Ernie Horaz. From Stockton, he has the style that Chelsea Chandler sure as hell does not have. Chelsea Chandler, I think, is from Stockton. Last week, she looked horrible. Hopefully, Ernie doesn't come out here and look like trash, and he gets it done, because at 3-1 plus 200 plus 215, I think it is a good pick. A fiend of the week. He won his last number of fights. His only loss was a boxing fight, round 3 knockout. That was in 2021. He's very active. And Jose Delgado's active too, but Delgado fought 4 weeks ago. He's maybe a little bit too active. You know, I feel like Ernie has a little bit more time to recover for this fight. Be ready to go. He had it scheduled. He had a training camp against Karol Brito. That fight got canceled. Brito had to pull out. Now he has a new opponent, Delgado, where I think he still gets the win here by a decision. Delgado, he has all finish wins. His only loss comes by a decision. When it gets late, I think Ernie will have the better cardio. He'll get takedowns, control time in this fight to get it done. He could get the submission in this fight. I think he's going to get the takedowns and control time to secure the bag. So if he can make it safer, get the submission win, make him tap. Dana White's sitting right there. If he's really wanting that contract and he wants to get this fight ended as quickly as possible for him, get that submission. Make this motherfucker tap. He's stepping in short notice, just fought 4 weeks ago. He's a big favorite. Maybe people are going to have their money on him. I will go against it. I'll take one underdog on this card here. He's my fiend of the week. Ernie Horaz, and I think he gets it done. Decision, submission, it doesn't really matter. At 3-1, it's a good price tag. I am definitely putting a couple units down on this. He also fought a guy 6-1, beat him by a decision, and yeah, everybody's a prospect. They still have some questionable wins. They have some guys that they need to prove something to. Some guys just don't have the best wins. They can pull a rabbit out of the hat. You never know on Dana White's Contender Series. On that one given night, Tuesday night, they have a chance to prove to Dana White everybody watching at home that they are UFC caliber. They belong. They could be a champion, this, that, and the other. So let's see what happens. I think the guy stepping in short notice, who is the favorite, who fought 4 weeks ago, is probably going to gas out, get taken down, controlled to not just an underdog, but a junkyard dog. Ernie Horaz, undefeated here as well. So he's going to fight for his undefeated record. He's going to fight hard. Dana White's sitting right there. It's anyone's fight at 3-1. I'm taking this underdog here. I think it is a very good play. Even if he loses, it's going to be a close decision, in my opinion. Hopefully he doesn't get finished. Now, the last win was a knockout left hook for Delgado. Another knockout before that. Punches and elbows. A submission via Darce choke. And a rear naked choke. He has a 100% finish rate. So he is a finisher. If you do like the favorite, just take it inside the distance. Get that plus money. If you're so confident on this favorite Delgado, god damn it, you got to take that plus money. If it is plus money, or even a little bit more value, take him inside the distance. It's the best play. Dana White is sitting right there. He has a 100% finish rate. He's going to go for it. But Ernie Horaz, I think, is the dog of the week on the card. But I'm not doing a dog of the week. I'm not doing a lock of the week. I'm doing a fiend of the week. You know, it could be a favorite, underdog. It's just a fighter I'm looking to bet, have some money on. And it's definitely not going to be a 100% confidence play or anything like that. I might even be just searching for value. If you want to see my bets for Dana White's Contender Series, all what you got to do is hit the link in the bio below. Join Patreon, become a Platinum Forecaster. It's only $5 a month. The Fiend of the Week for Ernie Horaz is going to be a moneyline play. He's 3-1. You could take it submission or decision. We'll check out the price on that. But if you want to see the wager, the exact prop we're going to play here, join Patreon. $5 a month. Ernie is the pick. He is a 3-1 underdog. Now the choice is yours. 65% of Tapology is picking him to win. He is the dog. So let's see who's right. Everybody on Tapology, which is only 290 people, not very many, versus the bookies. This could be a trap for the books. Trying to line up an underdog spot here for Ernie Horaz, who was scheduled to be on week 1 here. You got to think, Jose Delgado stepping up. Very short notice. He fought 4 weeks ago. He's a dog. He's fighting at MMA Lab. But tough fight for him. And this next fight is going to be a barn burner in the light heavyweight division now, between a guy that's been here before, last year, Bruno Lopez. He got knocked out to Brenson Ribeiro. Remember that? That was a big underdog, Brenson Ribeiro, that won that night and got it done. Bruno Lopez was a lock play for me, and he blew it. In this fight, he could get knocked out again. This guy, Mikhail Czeschiny, Mikhail. Mikhail, however you pronounce his name, Czeschiny, something like that. That does have 12 knockout wins out of his 13, but, you know, his last win was 16-13. 8-1 before that, not bad. 4-1, beat that guy by a decision. His last 2 fights were knockouts. The 16-13 guy, he managed to knock him out in the very first round. No surprise there. He's fought some pretty sus competition before that, though, like 0-1, 3-3, and he lost to a guy that was on the Contender Series last year, Mirzata Talha, who submitted him in the very first round. Very first round. And Murtaza lost on the Contender Series last year, so I don't think this Georgian is really that good, to be honest. Bruno Lopez, this time around, is a lock for me. This Georgian here fought 5 months ago against a guy that was 16-13, and then after the Contender Series loss, Bruno Lopez fought 6 months ago, around the same time as Mikhail's last fight against a guy that was 17-6. Submission win, and it was by his signature arm triangle choke, which I do expect him to get in this fight. Get a takedown and go for that submission. Least path of resistance here. You got knocked out in your last time at the Contender Series. You know, that's how you're going to lose this fight against a guy that has 12 knockout wins out of his 13 wins that's stepping up here in front of Dana White. He's going to be throwing missiles at your head. So get out of the way, get the takedown, and submit his ass. Arm triangle choke. Make it happen. You've submitted better guys than this. Lord, Savior, please get this one done, Bruno Lopez. Because if you don't get it done, you're never getting a chance at the UFC again. They're bringing you back to get a bag and get the win, submission win. Take the prop. I think it is a good one to play. I had Zalal last week by a submission. I'm sensing another submission on Dana White's Contender Series Tuesday night. Bruno Lopez got the call back. I think they wanted him in the UFC the first time around, and it just didn't work out. Obviously, he got knocked out. But this time, I think it might work out. It should work out. He's the lock play. He's another fiend of the week for me. I expect it to be a first, second round finish, most likely. The submission win for Bruno Lopez. That is what I'm sensing. They're calling him back, and he is a very good favorite to parlay on this card in Dana White's backyard. They're giving him the call back. If he does not get it done this time around, he knows he's not getting another chance. 2 losses on the Contender Series. It's highly unlikely to get the call back. Expect him to win, and expect him to win early by finish. I'm calling the submission because that is what I'm sensing. These are just my picks and predictions, though, for the first week of Dana White's Contender Series in his backyard. Anything can happen. They're prospects. They're going to stand and bang in the center of the octagon. At least that is what we would expect when Dana White is sitting there handing out contracts at the end of the night. Some fights might not be entertaining, but they should be. This fight here, you never know what's going to happen. We got a guy from Lebanon. You don't see many Lebanon fighters in the UFC. Will he get a contract? Is he going to be the first Lebanon fighter? I don't even know if there has been a Lebanon fighter before, but Rami Hamad is going to try against Meng Ding, who is going to have a reach advantage in this fight. It's going to be hard to stand there and strike with this guy. Rami, though, from what I've seen on Instagram, can't find anything on Meng Ding. Nothing on Instagram about this guy. Can't see his training. Watched a couple fights. He looks decent, but Rami, you look at his Instagram, he looks good on the feet. His kicks, he's fast, but he does strike with his hands down, kind of by his side, Bobby Green style. When you're on the come up and you have 3 losses, all by submission, it's going to be dangerous to come in here after almost 2 years of not fighting, looking for a win against a guy that's very powerful, has more knockout wins than this guy does have fights. Meng Ding was the dog. He was plus 180, and now he's the favorite, a big favorite. And it's because he has 27 knockouts out of his 34 wins, and he's fighting a guy from Lebanon that probably can't handle the pressure. He's been away from sport a year and 8 months, where he knocked out a guy that was 3-4. Before that, he knocked out a guy 3-2, both in the first round, leg kicks, and that's not going to work in this fight. He beat a guy by a decision with a losing record, 2-3. He beat a guy 10-5. So, Rami Hamad here, if he was the favorite, like, that's very crazy. I don't think he's going to look good in this fight. On Instagram, from what I've seen, he looked good. It'd be tempting to take him as a dog, but his hands are low from what I've seen. He's going to get hit. When he gets hit, he's not going to react well. Meng Ding hits hard. Meng Ding, however you say his name. Some of these names are going to be very hard to pronounce. So if I mispronounce names, I'm sorry. I'll give you the best pick possible, in my opinion, and try to be as honest as possible. Keep it real. I'm not looking to bet heavy on these Contender Series fights, because anything can happen. They're going to fight for their contract and their chance to make it to the UFC. There are a couple plays, though, that I do like that we'll talk about. But this fight, not overly confident. Not really. This Lebanon fighter should not win. Meng Ding should have the better striking, better power. He is beating guys within the last 9 months by knockout. His strikes are heavy, body shots. He's a killer in there. He could even use his takedowns and wrestling in this fight to get that submission. But probably a knockout. That's what he likes to do. Sometimes, if his corner's smart, they're going to tell him go for that submission. Maybe he sets up the submission with that heavy striking, knocks him down, and then just jumps on the back, gets a submission. Ramy Hamad has 3 submission losses. I'd be tempted into a submission play, honestly, for Meng Ding. He is very likely to win by knockout, but it's hard to resist if you're a degenerate, if you're searching for value. It's a theme. Ramy Hamad gets submitted if he loses. I think he's losing. The money completely shifted to Meng Ding. Ding dong. I'm going to hammer this one. I honestly think so. It's a spot where it's medium to low confidence. I don't really know. Ramy, he looks good on tape, on Instagram. But when he goes in there and fights against a guy that's active, hits hard, and is just as capable as him, it's going to be problems. His hands are low. He's probably going to get hit and sent to his ass, resulting in a submission win, knockout, ground and pound win for Meng Ding, a Chinese prospect, is likely to get signed. But I don't really want to bet it. I might. We'll see. Join Patreon. It's $5 a month. The fights are on Tuesday. I'm recording Sunday night. I might do a little bit more research on a couple fights before I really hammer down on Meng Ding here. We got to see. He's still unproven. He's still fought some pretty low-level competition coming from the Asian regional scene. Yeah, you never know. He most likely wins. He lost a couple fights, though, and he's been knocked out in 2 of them. In 2021, he got submitted in round 3. A high-caliber guy, 22-17, but I don't know how high-caliber that is. He just has a lot of fights, a lot of losses. He could be very bad, and his losses could be very bad. He's been knocked out by a head kick in the first round in 2019 to a guy that was 3-2. He's fought all guys on the Asian regional scene. His 34 fights, his 27 knockouts. When you look at Topology and SureDog, it is all Asian regional scene names here. I can't pronounce any of them. Kui Wang, Hu Li, Wei Ho Kai, Damu Wu. There's 34 names here. And I don't know how good they are. There's not tape on all of them. He has a lot of knockouts, 27. 2 years off is a little bit too long to come in here and fight a guy with 27 knockouts in front of Dana White. At 170 pounds, where the power is going to be there behind every punch. I'm going Meng Ding, but if you want to bet, join Patreon, $5 a month. And you're not just getting the Dana White's Contender Series fights, you're getting UFC fights as well. We got UFC 305 coming up this weekend. We got the Platinum Picks, line movement tracker, each and every bet posted for that. So this is the time right now to join Patreon, $5 a freaking month. We're going to end the fight prediction video off with the main event of the evening in Dana White's backyard here Mansoor Abdul Malik versus Wes Schultz. What a fight. 5-0, undefeated for Abdul Malik. All first round finishes. The longest fight he's been in was his first fight, and it was a low-level fighter. 0-1. After that, he beat a guy debuting. 2-5. Win after that by guillotine choke. How good are the guys Malik is fighting? Not very good at all. He knocked out a guy 2-2 10 months ago. His latest win 5 months ago was a guy 1-0. You can't give credit to this favorite, the biggest favorite on the Contender Series. 4-1 here. You can't give credit to him. But I'm probably going to pick him. He's knocked out every single guy. He's doing what he's supposed to do. He's not even getting out of the first minute in most of these fights. Can Party Time Wes Schultz show up, get it done here? I don't know, probably not, but he can survive the first minute, I would think, unless Abdul Malik just hits like a truck, which he does. They might be hesitant in the first couple minutes. I don't know. I think once Abdul Malik, though, walks forward and lands one good shot, it'll probably send Wes Schultz to the Shadow Realm. I enjoy his style, his attitude. He's respectful. He's fun to listen to on the mic. I want to see him make it to the UFC, but maybe a little degenerate bet on him if it gets crazy, and I'm pretty sure it will. He could be a 5-1 underdog, 6-1 underdog. In that case, I would take a little stab on him, a little hedge play. Abdul Malik, though, should be a high-confidence pick. He has 5 knockouts, all in the first round. He's 5-0 undefeated. He's getting the call here. He's fighting at Extreme Couture as well, and that's going to play a big part in my pick here. Training with some killers each and every day. But I said that about Charalampos Grigoriou, and he was a fraud. It doesn't matter who you train with. You just got to show up on fight day. Fight day's Tuesday night in Dana White's backyard. I think Abdul Malik will show up and beat Wes Schultz. How, though? Probably a first-round knockout. That is how he does it. There's not much tape on it. That's how he's winning his fights. He's not getting out of the first minute. So will he get out of the first round in a fight that he needs the contract to get into the UFC? He's probably going to get it done in the first round. Like, that's just what it is. He's a big favorite. But when we're searching for value, when we're being honest, there's value behind Wes Schultz to win this fight by knockout as well in the first round. He won his last 3 fights, his last 2 by knockout, and his knockout wins aren't the guys that are 1-0, 2-2, and 2-5. His knockout wins come to guys that are 4-2, fucking 6-3, and 5-5. That is somewhat positive. This underdog could have a serious chance. A high confidence pick, probably a medium confidence pick for Mansoor Abdul Malik. He should not be a high confidence pick. This is going to be a sweaty fight. He's going to need the first round finish. Does he have gas to go 2-3 rounds? We're going to find out. Dana White's going to find out, and he's going to make an opinion if he's going to sign one of these fighters after they win. I'm going with the chalky side. Unfortunately, I did give you faith in the underdog, though. Party Time Wes Schultz. He could show up. I doubt it, though. If he gets hit, he's probably not going to react well. Mansoor Abdul Malik hits like a motherfucking truck. He has a guillotine choke as well. He could even use his wrestling, get a submission. A big, big influence on this pick is the fact that Abdul Malik is training at Extreme Couture. We can't always trust who they're training with and where they're training at. Just look at last week, Charalampos Grigoriou. God damn it, he let me down. And Abdul Malik could let a lot of people down in this fight, so might stay away. Join Patreon. It's only $5 a month for not only the UFC, but now the Dana White's Contender Series picks, predictions, bets, not a line movement tracker. There's no tail the tape content. You know what I mean? I'm giving you free content, free picks. I'll show you the Tapology screenshot. You can see the height advantage, reach advantage. In this fight, Abdul Malik also has a 4-inch reach advantage. I think that also will play a part. He's the younger fighter as well. So if he happens to lose this fight, he does have another chance. He's only 26. Wes Schultz, 28. He's going to need a win now. He's an underdog, and he will fight like a junkyard dog. But he's not a dog that I will be picking to win on this Dana White's Contender Series. I got one underdog pick, and that underdog pick is a Fiend of the Week play. Ernie Horaz and Bruno Lopez are going to be the Fiends of the Week. I'm going to have plays on them. Look to deliver a bag. If you want to see the bets, see the props that I'm looking to make on them, all what you got to do is join Patreon. $5 a month. You get the UFC, you get the Dana White's Contender Series. But I'll be breaking down each and every Dana White's Contender Series fight predictions on my channel. Starting it off with this week, week number 1. All what I got to ask you to do before you go, smash that like button, suplex the subscribe button, and tune in for more.